morning. Welcome to the New Jersey Morning Show. It's Friday, October 7th. I'm Cara Falco.
And I'm Kristina Behr. Today on the show, we're talking about the strict rules imposed on New Jersey breweries and a plan that could actually change it.
Yeah, plus we're going to meet the man who's traveled around the state and tried New Jersey's best and worst pizza.
We got to hear this. Let's bring in first meteorologist Mike Favetta for a look at our weekend weather. And finally, it's looking nice, Mike.
It is looking nice. We've got some beautiful weather around today. So happy fall in a sunny sense, because after all the rain that we had the last few days, it wasn't very pleasant. But this is looking quite nice going into tomorrow, especially with temperatures that will be well above average. We start off today with those highs that will climb back into the mid 70s. It'll feel just like yesterday, nice and warm, nice and pleasant. And even with that weather staying pretty all throughout the afternoon, your forecast highs over toward the beaches will even feel pleasant. Seabright and Belmar, a high of 72 and 73 degrees for you. Notice the isolated shower question mark part of the forecast? Well, that is due to the threat of a quick passing sprinkle, specifically Monmouth and Ocean South. So if you're in the Trenton area, you might run into an afternoon shower that lasts maybe 5 minutes as these showers work on through. They predominantly happen in the afternoon, and they will ultimately clear out by this evening, bringing in a much drier feel with a gusty northwesterly wind. We'll tell you all about that and how the weekend shapes up, including the 7-day forecast, and all you need to know about this weekend's weather in just a few minutes.
It's looking really good, Mike. Thanks so much.
You bet.
And Don Smith is here with a look at the traffic.
Good morning, Cara. Good morning, Kristina. And good morning, Mike. Yeah, friends, it's been really a tough ride for friends in Hunterdon and Somerset counties. Let's get you over to the maps here this morning. Right around 6:30, we had a big crash here along Route 78, just between exits 24 and 26, between Cokesbury Road, or actually Oldwick Road and Rattlesnake Bridge Road. It was right in here this morning. Actually, I'm sorry, it's right in here. But now we just got word, actually, it's here, I should say. Pardon me. But we just got word from DOT, as Mike was doing weather, that everything has now been reopened. Now, there is still police activity onto the shoulders, both ways coming in towards Rattlesnake Bridge between exits 26 and 24. But again, DOT just updated the page just moments ago, saying that that is now open. But the problem is that we're seeing so much residual traffic around it. It's going to take a little while for this to ease out. First of all, north on 287, getting into westbound 78, that continues to still be heavy, as this will continue to slowly dissipate now that the westbound side is open, and we're well east of exit 29 for 287. Also, north on 206, getting into Far Hills, as people are bailing out of the westbound side here. I would imagine that people are probably going to try to make their way down Lamington Road through Bedminster, as you get out towards Oldwick Road and then reconnect there. I think a lot of our drivers were trying to do that as well. So that takes care of the westbound side. Eastbound side, we are still absolutely hammered here, back through about exit 15 or so, where the Cracker Barrel is, if you know Clinton Township in that location. So getting east of here is just a mess. A lot of drivers are exiting off at exit 18 for Route 22, because this stretch here, 78 and 22, are all one and the same road. It doesn't get to where it splits here, not until exit 18. So we're still seeing a lot of traffic getting out through the Lebanon area. And then really the heaviest here is up at the Spinning Wheel Diner and getting all the way in towards White House Station. This is just an absolute parking lot with all of this residual traffic. Now, some may be making their way up to Oldwick Road to get back on to 78. But I would still say, for the time being, until we get full, again, we have the fully all clear, but stay maybe with 22 for about the next half hour till about 9:30, and then maybe you could populate your way over towards 78. But let's go to the incident list, because there's other things happening as well. 21, that's McCarter Highway in the Brick City, out by 3rd Avenue, we got a crash. 295 south of the Aljo Curve, watch for a crash there. 208 still working this crash over by Fair Lawn Avenue, heading south this morning. And then 18, the ramp southbound at Main Street in East Brunswick, everything is going to be shut in Route 9. We have a down utility pole both ways south of Station Road in Berkeley Township. So let's go towards the maps here. Going to widen things up. And this morning, not going to lie to you, it was actually a little lighter the volume-wise, because we're getting into the Columbus Day holiday weekend on Monday. So there was a lot of our friends that were off. Looks like the 295 crash has been cleared. It was right in here. So it looks like maybe off to the shoulder by now. 42 of 55, things are fine. Commodore Barry Bridge into Pennsylvania was heavy, and that was with an earlier crash. Everything down the shore looks absolutely fantastic. We still have some, this may be a new problem here on 24, getting out towards Route 78. Looks like we may have some construction. We'll do some more investigation for you on that for our next report here in a couple of minutes. But 208 is still fairly heavy getting into 17, and then 17 still seeing a lot of traffic in either direction at Essex Street in Lodi. Let's go to the bridges and tunnels this morning. We'll check out the vibe here of about a half an hour at the George, 20 at the Lincoln, 20 at the Holland Tunnel, and New Jersey Transit. We had some earlier canceled trains here on the 846 and the Hoboken, and some canceled trains, some scheduled changes, we'll put it, on the Northeast Corridor coming from Jersey Avenue. That's what's happening in a fairly busy traffic center for a Friday. Cara, Kristina, we'll send it back to you.
Thanks so much, Don.
Well, Governor Murphy's administration has released a new plan called the NJ Statewide Support Network to prioritize mental health and wellness in schools, but now it's actually already facing backlash. This new plan would end a popular youth services program that has been in place in schools for 40 years.
Yeah, so the advocates opposing the new support network say the old plan, which currently operates in 90 districts around the state, should remain alongside the new plan.
Yeah, well, some of the differences with the new plan is that it would spend $48 million to create 15 hubs, and those hubs would then coordinate initiatives like counseling, referrals, and mentoring for at-risk students.
I think when you have any student that needs any type of additional or special care, it's very scary for it to change or move because you just don't know. And it's so difficult for a lot of those kids and their parents to then adjust to something new, a new schedule.
Yeah.
You know, even if it may be better, and we don't know.
We don't know. Yeah, it's TBD. I agree. Like if you're going to have this program maybe work in tandem, side by side, and see how it works first, and then maybe make adjustments.
Yeah.
You know?
I think if at least for the sake of kind of running the two simultaneously for a time period, just to kind of ease people in.
Right. It all comes down to costs, unfortunately.
Yes.
But I mean, I think that's something that you can't really sacrifice in terms of mental health, and especially dealing with students.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
And it's so important, especially now.
yeah.
So there's another new bill that would require parents to be notified immediately if their child is locked in a padded quiet room. So schools would also be required to give families a full written report within the following 48 hours.
In addition, the State Department of Education would track the number of times those quiet rooms are used by teachers. The seclusion rooms are meant to provide a safe space to calm down if students with intellectual disabilities are becoming violent.
So the bill comes in the wake of an NJ Advanced Media investigation that found some schools were overusing the seclusion rooms.
I didn't even know this still existed, to be
Honestly,
honest.
neither did I.
Yeah.
And I will say, you know, your initial gut reaction is that's horrible. They shouldn't even been doing that. And at the same time, I have a personal friend who went through medical school for neurology. She's very petite like myself, and she was working with some of these students. And if you're talking about a accurately grown 16-year-old boy who does not have the mental capacity of a 16-year-old boy, and they do become, I mean, she really did run the risk of truly being hurt.
That makes sense, yeah.
Now, I don't know that that's necessarily the best solution. I don't know enough about this.
Right.
But
I think notification in terms of parents knowing, absolutely.
Absolutely. That should be the first call that's made.
So communication is key, I think, with anything, you know, and just keeping everybody in the loop, especially when it comes down to circumstances like that. Yeah, for sure.
That would be hard.
This is a huge story right now. Party City announced the new location for its corporate headquarters in Bergen County, holding a ribbon cutting ceremony yesterday.
So the chain will relocate its offices to Woodcliff Lake, creating 357 new jobs in the area. Party City received the first award of New Jersey's new job creation incentive program. The state awarded the chain with a 7-year, $10 million award through the Emerge program, which was passed in 2020 to help attract new jobs to New Jersey in the wake of COVID-19.
That's going to be huge. 357 jobs. That's great.
That's big. Yeah, absolutely. So we've been following the story on NJ Morning Show. We're excited about this next interview. Breweries across the state have been pushing back on newly implemented regulations that limit public events and items that they can provide to their customers. But now there's new legislation on the table that could reverse some of those changes. And joining us to talk about all of this is Warren County Commissioner James Curran. James, thank you so much for coming on the show today. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for having me and bringing light to this issue.
We love food here, so that's we think it's important. Food and beverages. What have you been hearing from breweries in Warren County? And I know that you and the Board of County Commissioners have really made an effort lately to go to these breweries to talk to them and to show your support.
Yeah, I mean, they're concerned about what's going on right now. When we saw these rulings come out on July 1st, we felt that this was going to be devastating for our brewery community. Right now they have unlimited amount of events. They're bringing in people from not only New Jersey, but Pennsylvania and New York. And when it's going to limit their events to, potentially one a weekend, I mean, that's devastating to their business model and, quite frankly, the revitalization of our downtown communities.
Yeah, why are these rules so hurtful to these breweries? Obviously, it's the bottom line, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think when the ABC issued these rules, they did it kind of in a vacuum, right? They didn't take in consideration what the breweries were actually doing to help, help their communities and really help as far as what their business model is from respect to these different types of events, whether it's music, whether it's art, whether it's bringing in different types of entertainment. They rely on them to bring people into the breweries and have an experience. And quite frankly, it's not what I think the ABC is imagining, where it's people just tasting beer. It's really an experience and what makes each brewery different.
Yeah.
And so how has your office been engaging with the brewery owners and trying to kind of get out there and speak with them and support them?
Yeah, I mean, I think from our perspective at a county level, we're really trying to make sure that the state is aware and our legislators of what they can do to fix the problem. I know there's two bipartisan pieces of legislation that are out there right now that we're hoping by us going to the breweries and making people aware of what's going on, they'll hopefully, pass them in quick order, because, this has been since July 1st right now. So, time is really of the essence.
Yeah, talk about some of the proposed changes and how it could help ease their concerns.
Yeah, the changes right now, what they'd be doing, I think there's two bills right now that exist, and one would reduce the amount of events that they could have, eliminate the cap that was created over the summer. Right now, before that piece of ruling came out, they were unlimited in what they could do. The cap essentially is restricting them to 25 events per year, which is just quite frankly unacceptable for what these breweries are doing. If we can get that lifted, then we'll be obviously they'll be in a better place to actually continue what they've been doing prior to July 1st.
So James, what can residents and just folks at home and people watching do to kind of help support these breweries and help support some of this legislation that's maybe going to make things a little bit easier for them?
No, that's a great question. I think the first is probably the most easiest. Just support your breweries, go there, be a patron, experience ones you've not gone to, but then also, contact your legislators, make them know that this is an important issue. When we've seen, so many of our downtown communities, our small towns across New Jersey, they've changed as far as what's bringing people into towns. It's not your malls or your strip malls anymore. It's these experiences, which breweries are included. And that's what we need to help promote.
I love it. James Curran, thank you so much for coming on with us today and shining a light on this topic.
Thank you.
We appreciate your time.
Yeah. Well, up next, NJ Transit testing new buses. What makes them different from the ones that are currently on the road?
Kind of exciting. You can always find us over on social media. Search for at NJ Morning Show on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and click follow.
2020 felt like a dark tunnel, and while 2020 is over, the impact is not. The pandemic affected both our physical and mental health.
We started the Cody Fund for Mental Health to change lives, so we want you to know about NJ211.
It's a referral service for anyone in crisis, even children.
I'm living proof that there's light at the end of the tunnel.
And it's not a train, it's help. It's NJ211.
Right now, New Jersey's youth are dealing with a lot. Growing up today, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, but you're not alone. If you're worried about someone, reach out and point them to help if they need it. The New Jersey Department of Children and Families offers support to children and youth in crisis. Help is available by phone or text whenever you need it. Be there for a friend, and know where to turn for help. Suicide should never be the answer. Growing up can be hard. Getting help shouldn't be.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. Meteorologist Mike Favetta is back with us for a check of the weather, and it finally cleared out. I was so excited to see the sky the other night.
Finally.
Wasn't it beautiful?
I was like,
So
oh my gosh,
pretty.
the stars.
I know. The moon. That was a nice treat last night. To actually see the moon, like, wow, the sky's clear once again. It was wonderful to see the sun yesterday and again today. And we keep that sun shining right through the 7-day forecast. Can't wait to show you that, especially with the clearing that takes place going into the weekend with very dry air. So today is our last day of 70 degrees for a while, and it will be beautiful weekend weather for the apkin picking, the pumpkin picking, slightly cooler temperatures on tap for next week, but a big shock to the system tonight as we drop about 30 degrees between say 4 p.m. and midnight tonight. There's a big drop, and that's the dry weather that comes in much throughout the overnight. Now, our forecast brings back the rain that we had in the last few days, has helped the Drought Monitor. So I want to show you these two images here. First, we have the left, which is last week's bad drought, kind of the most severe we've had. And you can see the shades of orange and tan that kind of go through the central section of New Jersey, really the breadbasket where most of the Jersey fresh produce is grown. Look how that's kind of disappeared on the right side and has now gone to a just abnormally dry conditions. So while most of central and southern New Jersey got buckets of rainfall this past few days, we'll likely see this improve over the next few days as the drought continues, but at least it's not severe, such as the case down toward Cape May County where you had a severe drought. That is no longer the case. That's changed to that lighter shade. So better news for the drought situation going forward, and that's some excellent work, especially as we go into the next few days, because it does stay rather dry. The forecast points to lots of sunshine this weekend. Tomorrow, on Saturday, 60 degrees as the afternoon high. That's a far cry from the mid-70s we get to today. That's what you see on the left. 75 over toward Belmar, 73 in Newark, and 74 this afternoon in Trenton. So we drop those 13 to 15 degrees by tomorrow, warm it back up just a little bit on Sunday, but it will be a chilly morning with a, you ready for this? Wind chill. The wind chill will be in the 30s on Sunday morning. That's how chilly it will feel. Even Saturday morning feels like the 40s. So some really chilly weather on the way each morning. Bundle up, get the hot cocoa, the apple spice, pumpkin, latte, cinnamon, all that fall stuff out and hot and ready to go, because it will feel chilly this weekend with a, yes, wind chill. It is that time of year.
Sweater weather.
Just a sweater weather.
That meme that's going around. Sweater weather. I love it.
You and I need sweaters now.
I know, seriously. Bundle up.
All right, Mike, thank you very much. We'll see you in a little bit.
Don Smith now checking in on the roadways. Don?
Thank you, Kristina, and good morning, Karen. Good morning, Mike. Let's get you over towards our maps here this morning. It's a very busy Friday morning getting into the holiday weekend. We'll start it off here along 17 out by your Garden State Plaza Mall, just a parking lot now in both directions. Now, the first problem is going southbound. We have a crash near Central Avenue and Rochelle Park. That's why things are backed up here out to the mall and north of Route 4. Let's go to the maps. Let me see if I can kind of populate. I think something else just happened here as well. It has to have been out by East Century Road going northbound. Yeah, no question about that. That there is something that is going on right in this area here. Now, whether it's a broken down vehicle, crash, construction, not sure, but there's absolutely something taking out at least one lane there, heading north on 17 at East Century this morning. And then south is also, again, fairly heavy getting into the Parkway. Now, seeing it both ways here could lend some credence to maybe some road work setting up for our last and final report here in about 15 minutes or so. I'll do some more investigation. Again, that delay just happened here within the last 2 minutes or so as I was overseeing the maps. West on Route 4, looks like we have a crash, I should say east here out by Teaneck Road, being cleaned up there. But 80, 23, 287, 202, 17, all in good shape. And again, as I mentioned before, that we're getting into a holiday weekend, so traffic is definitely volume-wise, we are less certainly than what it was yesterday. Let's take a look down towards Route 3, Route 46, Route Fairfield, Totowa, Route 19, 21, the Parkway. It looks fantastic through Essex County. So does 21. Eastern Western spurs, the Turnpike is good. We'll get to the Hudsons in a moment. Bay Extension, still a little sun glare hitting the eyes here east on the Bay Extension on the bridge with 78 through Union and Hillside. That looks good, but it's eastbound 24. It looks like there's some road work here, or there was something. I think there is some road work setting up here just at the 78 interchange as you travel east out of Chatham this morning in Springfield. So give yourself about another 20 minutes there on the approach in towards Union County. Parkway looks good. So does the Turnpike 78. Now let's continue our follow-up to the story here. It's been all morning long. We've got word from DOT that 78 is now reopened both ways here, just between exits 24 and 26. Big accident happened about 6:30 this morning. That's now been, I think, off to the shoulder at least. I don't have confirmation that it's completely clear. I think they're still working on this, but 78 is still pretty banged up in both directions. Now it's heavier going east here from exit 15 all the way through to exit 24. So stay with 22. The problem is you're going to be sitting with you and a lot of your new friends here along Route 22 as you head out through White House Station, because this is where all the alternate traffic has been going for the last almost 3 hours now, out of Clinton, Lebanon, and on the approach in towards White House Station on your approach in towards the Somerset County border. So westbound is faring slightly better, but still fairly backed up getting into 287. Northbound 287 still pretty busy because now we're also getting word of a broken down vehicle now on the westbound side of 78 as you come in towards exit 26. And then 206 here in Far Hills is just getting wrecked with all kinds of traffic as everyone's trying to avoid this. So again, these are single lane roads, folks. Schools are in session. Again, schools are back, they're already started. So, but just be careful. Again, these are single lane country roads, Lamington Road, 202, 206, Far Hills, Bedminster. Please just slow down and be careful. As we take a look at Central Jersey, 287 and 202, things are fine. The Turnpike is in good shape this morning, 18. Everything down the shore, maybe heading out to enjoy some of this great weather, as Mike had said. Early on for a Friday, Point Pleasant, 195, Trenton area, West Windsor, again, all is clear. Even down towards South Jersey on 295 as you get into the Aljo Curve, into the Walt Whitman, Ben Franklin bridges. 55-30 as you continue further to the east, AC Expressway, heading out to the boardwalk there looks good. Ocean City, CL City, Avalon, Wildwood, Stone Harbor, Cape May. We are fine. Now let's go to the Hudson River crossings. On average, about 20 minutes across the board. Speaking of 20 minutes, we're also averaging about 20-minute delays both ways on rail service here on New Jersey Transit into and out of Penn Station, into the city. Again, as you see it on the webpage, because of the Amtrak Portal Bridge. So there are those delays that hopefully in a couple of years' time, that once the Portal Bridge gets replaced, things will be in much better shape and path is on or close to schedule. That's happening here in a busy traffic center at 923. Cara, Kristina, we'll send it back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Don.
So Governor Murphy announced a $176 million redevelopment plan for the Hoboken terminal. So this includes new office space, retail space, affordable housing, and improvements to public infrastructure.
It looks amazing. The new Hoboken Connect project will also bring the city's shuttered ferry terminal back to life.
Hoboken Connect is going to create a new atmosphere in this historic and well-tread quarter. It will create a space that not only honors Hoboken's past and meets the needs of its present, but it will position the city for its future.
So Governor Murphy says the project will not only create thousands of construction jobs while it's being built, but retail, restaurant, and transit jobs once it's complete. So very exciting. And we had the New Brunswick one last week. It's really good to see these historical stations kind of getting these facelifts, and putting people back to work.
Back to work, indeed. I mean, that's what we need. Just investment in our economy
and
basically
the infrastructure.
Yeah, and the infrastructure. Speaking of which, NJ Transit now testing the first of 8 new electric buses in Camden.
The new fleet of electric buses costs $10 million, paid for entirely by fines collected from polluters, including a settlement from Volkswagen in the wake of their emissions scandal. The buses are a lot quieter than gas-powered buses and cars.
I love that. New Jersey Transit's garage in Newton has been outfitted with charging infrastructure to handle the new buses. More buses will be tested in Newark in the future. And, they rolled these out in Camden. It's going to start the end of this month because they're training drivers and emergency responders responders on how to react to in case of an emergency, how to deal with an electric bus now because it's completely different.
It is different. It is different. But it's also good to see.
It's
and
great.
I think, again, especially in our very urban areas or inner cities, you know, they really need every little bit of help they can get. I mean, it's just a population that's kind of suppressed by pollution.
And I love how they're paying it with the fines.
That's great.
That's the best part of the whole thing.
That's what you want to be doing with that, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's also been, speaking of commuting, a fight over traffic cameras that could mean you soon have to pay a $50 fee to drive into New York City.
Yeah, the non-cooperation fee, as it's called, is one proposed by New York lawmakers in response to a Jersey bill that would limit the Motor Vehicle Commission's cooperation with New Jersey drivers caught by New York traffic cameras.
Okay, so New York lawmakers say they want to ensure that New Jersey drivers are being held accountable for violations. The New Jersey bill wants to keep drivers under the same rules that we have here in New Jersey, which is that traffic cameras are currently banned. You and I were both, I think, reporting at the time when that whole test pilot thing went into place on the traffic cameras. And they did, in fact, find that they really just caused more of a problem. People were really stopping short.
Right.
We were getting a lot of,
it's a camera, I got to slow down.
I got to stop. You know, they were getting a lot of rear-end accidents. New York, however, has decided to keep them, and they use them in order to ticket people. And again, you know, I mean, if you're commuting and driving around New York,
$50 though to go back. I mean, that's a lot of money. In addition to all
between the congestion pricing, the raise-in rates at the bridges and tunnels, gas.
It's going to be impossible.
People are not going to, and I think ultimately it's going to hurt the city more than New Jersey.
100%. Because when you see that, you're going to be like, I'm not going into the city.
I really feel if you were to pull all the New Jerseyans out of Manhattan, the place would come to a screeching halt.
For sure.
I'm very convinced.
For sure, because I mean, when you see that, if you're working in the city, let's say you're doing hybrid, you see something like that, you're like, forget that, I'm going to work from home.
Exactly.
Why would I want to go into the city? So that, and then that trickles down to everything else.
It really does.
So, not a good idea from us.
Cool your jets, all of you. Speaking of the Jets and the Giants won last weekend, but can they pull it off again?
Plus, RU has a must-win game tonight. Our Chris Sakonis is here with a look ahead at the weekend sports.
The Giants and Jets are both looking to get back-to-back wins on Sunday. For the Giants, it's an overseas trip to London to face Aaron Rodgers and the Packers. Containing Rodgers is going to be key for the Giants to get their 4th win of the season.
I mean, he's one of the best to ever do it. He's, again, much like I said about some of the other really good players, he's fun to watch when you're not getting ready to play him. And I'll be watching their offense, and naturally you're just watching 12 and things he does and how he moves people and the accuracy and off-schedule plays and checks and things he does. I mean, he's as good as it gets.
The Jets host the Dolphins in their first AFC matchup of the season. Quarterback Zach Wilson's coming off an impressive finish in the 4th quarter where he went 10 for 12 for 128 yards and the go-ahead touchdown in a 24-20 win over the Steelers. Rutgers faces a pivotal Big Ten matchup tonight, hosting Nebraska with a chance at their first Big Ten win. The Scarlet Knights have scored just 10 points in both of their Big Ten games, and the quarterback situation is still in flux as Noah Vedral and Gavin Wimsatt both rehab injuries. Evan Simon has played in their absence, facing a physical defense in a 49-10 loss to Ohio State last weekend.
He got hit. So, but I think he's definitely arrow pointed up. He's learning. He's getting better. We'll just see how it all fits together, in the quarterback, who's available, how it all fits together.
All right, that's all I got with sports. Cara and Kristina, back over to you.
All right, thanks, Chris.
Very exciting. Well, we're sharing adoptable pets all month long, and check this out. This is Gigi. What a cutie in flower pajamas. I love it. She's loving life right there. Yes. She's available for adoption, by the way, from Jersey Pit Rescue. So please reach out to them to bring this girl home. So adorable.
She's such a little chunky cutie. I love her. I would take all the dogs if I could. Also, why it may be costing more to heat your home in New Jersey this winter.
That is not a good thing. And don't forget, you can always find us over on social media. Search for @NJ Morning Show on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, and click follow.
Right now, families all across New Jersey are struggling with hunger, and their financial futures remain uncertain. You can be the hope for our hungry neighbors in need in a time when that need is still so great. The Community Food Bank of New Jersey, the state's largest anti-hunger, anti-poverty organization, is filling the emptiness caused by hunger with food, help, and hope. Go to cfbnj.org now to join us.
The New Jersey Hall of Fame is coming to you, celebrating our best and brightest, greeting guests along our Garden State Parkway through its 9 service areas, engaging travelers from our terminals to our transit centers, inspiring new generations as we move from town to town, and at New Jersey's hottest red carpet ceremony, inspiring New Jerseyans at our new home at American Dream. It's the New Jersey Hall of Fame, and it's where you want to be because everyone needs a hero.
Welcome back to the New Jersey Morning Show. Meteorologist Mike Favetta back once again with a check of our weekend weather. It's going to be a great one. Great fall one.
It is going to be a beautiful fall weather. We've got awesome weather this weekend. Chilly, sunny, dry, breezy, all the weather you can enjoy on a first weekend in, well, I would say the first nice weekend in October, because last weekend wasn't that pretty. Hey, people love puddle jumping. They love dancing in the rain. Me, not so much. And the puppy, even worse. Kind of goes under the tree for a little bit of protection from the rain and then runs right back in the house. The forecast looking great this weekend, with Morristown's temperature climbing to 57 only tomorrow. We actually make it back into the 60s by Sunday afternoon. Newark and Belmar holding in the 60s as well. Upper 50s for you in Trenton, and 63 by Sunday afternoon in Trenton. Camden and Atlantic City also faring very pleasant, with that dry weather lasting for at least the next 6 days. So we go through the middle of the week with lots of sun, temperatures climbing to the upper 60s. Maybe we get to 70 in spots by Wednesday time frame. But it's those overnight temperatures that will really come into play and maybe have you preheating the car before you head out first thing in the morning. It will be chilly with temperatures in the 40s, but it's any wind, now that the temperature is below 50 degrees, that you can factor in a wind chill. That's why the wind chill will be in the low 40s tomorrow morning and in the upper 30s only on Sunday morning. So a real chill setting up here across the Garden State as we head into frosty season. Just a few weeks to go until Halloween, and then after that, it's all about the holidays and the winter forecast, but we'll just take it one step at a time. We have to let the leaves change color first, and we gave you the foliage update yesterday. We'll have the new update for you next week as some trees starting to show their colors here across New Jersey, so already that time of year.
Yeah, you know, and I'm just happy I can finally put my inflatables up on my lawn because I kept them down because of all the rain.
Yeah.
The Halloween inflatables.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say, I was like, wait, I thought you put them up already, but I forgot
did.
you couldn't blow them up because
But I
of
couldn't,
the weather.
I
Yes,
had to,
no, I
you
get
know,
it.
because it would blow away down the road.
Oh, yeah, for sure. For sure.
rain.
I'll tell you what, up in northern Morris County where my parents are, the leaves are changing already. It's beautiful up there.
Love it.
Yeah, it's looking
So
good.
nice.
We're
Mike,
excited.
thank you so much.
And Don Smith has a look at the roads and the rails for us.
Good morning, Karen, and good morning, Kristina, and good morning, Mike. Yeah, I wish the traffic was looking as good as your weather forecast for today and the weekend. Let's get you over to the maps here this morning. We still have issues along Route 17, so while we were in the break, I was doing some more investigations. Still haven't been able to find out why the northbound side is heavy here coming up to the Garden State Parkway out by East Century Road. Still have no idea why that is. Let's go to the cameras. I know DOT was moving the camera, and they've done that. There's absolutely something happening here out by East Century Road that's got to be taking out a lane. It's a little difficult to see into the distance and right the overpass whether there is something blocked. There's definitely something happening here taking out a lane. What it is, I have just no clue at this point. It gets a little difficult to figure this out sometimes, but just try to give yourself plenty of additional travel time going north. Now, south is backed up all the way from basically north of the Parkway back to Midland Avenue as we travel south into Route 4 all the way into basically Passaic Street in towards Central Avenue. There was an earlier crash that's been cleared, but the northbound side is heavy all the way from Route 80 all the way up into the Garden State Parkway. So 17, take that off of your list. Southbound 208, still cleaning up this crash here just south of Fairlawn Avenue this morning. But other than that, it's been fairly light here in North Jersey, 23, 202, 17, up towards the Wayne, Kinnelon, Butler area, up this way. In towards northwestern Jersey where these leaves are beginning to change, as Cara mentioned. Things are looking good on 15 and 206. 80, fine. So is 280. Your Parkway through Essex County, the Turnpike is going to be looking good. We're still dealing with this eastbound side of 24. There's some kind of road work happening here right at the 78 interchange, and we are just hammered all the way back, well, back into the Chatham area this morning. Not going to lie, that's a really, really bad ride as you make your way out towards the mall at Short Hills. So that's going to be at least a half an hour east on 24, but that's about all I have is that it's construction. I don't have any other details. Maybe something else happened in that location, but nothing that I'm aware of. 287 is fine. Let's go back out to 7822. This catastrophe that's been ongoing, it's been slowly getting better. And when I say slowly, I mean really slow to try to recover. So we had a bad accident this morning around 6:15 on Route 78 both ways, just east of Oldwick Road, exit 24, between 24 and 26. Had the road shut down for well over 2 hours. It's now been reopened, but there is still a lot of police activity that is still ongoing. I would imagine that maybe later this afternoon, you could even see lane closures with emergency construction on that guardrail. So we'll see how that plays out. But for right now at 9:36 on a Friday morning, we're looking at heavy traffic going west here. Also another broken down vehicle getting reported just before exit 26 that closes up the left lane. This is another area of contention because a lot of our friends were avoiding, obviously when it was shut, to go up towards the Far Hills area on 202, 206, now getting out to Lamington Road, trying to avoid all of this completely. Westbound faring a little bit better than the eastbound side. And the eastbound side of 78 is still all jacked up here from exit 16 into all the way through to exit 24 for Oldwick Road. Eastbound 22 has been just getting hit hard here up at the Spinning Wheel Diner at Lebanon in towards the White House Station area. Just an absolute parking lot as you come in towards Main Street and White House Station, and then further to the east in towards Branchburg. More traffic, and then it begins to ease out at 202, 206. So give yourself plenty of time here in this Hunterdon, Somerset County border area east of 31. But, central Jersey seems to be fine on the Turnpike, the Parkway, heading out to the Jersey Shore for some of this great weather, as Mike said, for today. 195 is fine. 295, Barnegat, Stafford, Little Lake Harbor. Again, everything down the shore is beautiful. So is 55. 295, and even heading in towards Wilmington, Delaware is clear. Unfortunately, New Jersey Transit, we're still dealing with up to 20 minutes into and out of Penn in the city because of the Amtrak Portal Bridge signal issues there. Let's give you the freshest numbers here at the Hudsons this morning. I'm still probably going to say this is about 15 minutes across the board, 15 to 20 across the board. So that's beginning to settle down fairly nicely. And that's what's happening here in the traffic center at 9:30. Have a fantastic Friday. Drive safely and a great weekend. And we'll see everybody next week. Cara, Kristina, back to you.
Thanks, Don.
Well, speaking of heating, right, we're going to need the heat. Well, millions of New Jerseyans will face higher energy bills as the rate hikes go into effect this weekend.
Yeah, those rate hikes were approved last month by the State Board of Public Utilities. Companies pushed for rate hikes as a response to rising costs.
Yeah, one of the drivers behind the rate hikes was the recent spike in natural gas prices, which are tied to the supply service rate on consumers' electricity bills. Now, the state's largest utility, PSE&G, had the largest rate hikes. Their 1.9 million customers will see their bills go up by 25%.
Which is massive.
Massive. Every little bit counts, and that's too much.
That's a little too much. Yeah, absolutely. There are programs, though, and PSE&G does say,
check it out.
Contact them if there's a problem. They are willing to work with you.
Yeah.
But just
it's like
25% is like, bam.
Insane.
That's too
insane.
much. So there's a new survey that says the most expensive city to rent is not New York, but here in the Garden State.
Yeah, nationally, according to the New York Times, Jersey City now has the highest rent in the country with an average about $5,500 a month. That marks a 66% increase in rent from last summer when the average was only $3,300, which is still expensive.
It's still expensive. The sharp rise in rent is said to have been driven by the migration of workers out of New York City due to the rise of remote work from the COVID-19 pandemic, which does make sense. And I have always said, I mean, knowing people that live in Manhattan and what they pay for an apartment that is the size of this desk.
Table.
And I just look at them and I go, I don't understand why you pay that price to live over there in a shoebox and look at us when you could, even at that rate, you're going to still get a nicer apartment, probably with a parking spot, a view of the Manhattan
you don't have
skyline.
To fight for parking,
You know, and I don't know.
But still $5,500.
$5,500 is that's a very nice apartment.
Nice. Yes, yeah.
But, yeah.
You might have to go further inland to spend
less
money on
maybe
rent.
let's get out of
Jersey City.
Yeah.
Well, let's get to our next guest. Johnny C., the pizza guy, has been trying pizza across the Garden State for years and rating the pies on his website, and he's gained quite a following. He's joining us now on the morning show. Welcome, Johnny C., the pizza guy.
Good morning, New Jersey Morning Show. Honored to be on your show today, and I'm looking forward to talking about some pizza.
Yes, we know you're a banker by day, by trade, a pizza critic in life. How did you start rating pizza?
Well, you know, the first thing I will say, Kristina, I don't rate. I recommend. Okay. You know, I start off rating, and then I said to myself, my grandfather, he wouldn't appreciate that. And the truth is, the day-to-day pizza industry, which I grew up in the family business, you know, sometimes the sauce doesn't come out right. Sometimes the dough's off. Sometimes the wrong pie guy's in. So why give them a rating on that when if you enjoy it, you recommend it. That's what I always say. Don't just eat, enjoy, share, and recommend.
So then, John, how do you, what is your determination? Yeah, like if you're eating a pizza, you know, and only because you've done this for so long, and I think that's what makes, you know, your following trust you the way they do, you know, what is it, in your opinion, that makes a pizza good or bad? What would you want to see in a pizza that you're recommending?
Well, the first thing that's very unique about me is I have an inclined genetic palate from Sicily. That's something that sets many things apart.
Yes,
but
I know about that.
I don't want to see any flop in my slice. When I hold my slice up, the pizza should come straight out. I don't want to see oil dripping. That's a very big thing with me. And I love my sauce. I'm actually a sweet sauce guy. I love sweet sauce. And some people don't. But again, that's everyone else's palate. But my palate is truly tested. It's grown up with chefs in my family. I mean, this is my life. I grew up in it. So people trust my palate. Even the famous David Portnoy, he follows Johnny C., believe it or not.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I love that the pizza guy, the pizza tasting, bloomed into Jersey Roots, which is a separate Facebook page for all things Jersey, ton of followers. Why was something that you wanted to create for Jersey?
You know what? Living in Jersey my whole life, grew up in Essex County in Cedar Grove, moved down here 20 years ago to Toms River, Jersey Shore. And New Jersey, we need positivity in our state. And there's so many people with unbelievable Jersey roots that's what this came up as an idea with a good friend of mine, Joe Amore, sitting at his kitchen table saying, you know, Joe, we're down here in Ocean County, but we meet people from New Jersey, from up north, and we talk about the bakeries, the pizzerias, all the things in our roots. And then another friend of mine who teaches, and you mentioned Jersey City before, he teaches in Jersey City. He says, Johnny, we were thinking about like something with North Jersey and Ocean County. He says, John, stick to Jersey roots. People from New Jersey have roots everywhere. Our page actually has grown throughout the world, throughout the country. The second most state of members is Florida, and they miss Jersey, and it brings them back to Jersey. All positivity, no foul language, no hate, no negativity. I don't even want to hear about the taxes.
I love it. I love it. So were you then surprised at how many people wanted to be a part of Jersey Roots, or were you kind of expecting that?
You know what? We were flabbergasted when we had 1,000 members in a couple of weeks, and then it just grew, and the members took it over. I mean, the members were just sharing, going into those photo albums, right, that are just collecting dust on the shelf, bringing them back to life, sharing their roots, their memories. The pages grew. I mean, we're approaching 75,000 members. Wow. It's only been a year and a half, and it's probably the largest active Jersey-based Facebook group page. And there's right now we have 5 admins working the page, which is great.
That's so much fun.
That is incredible. So, John, before we kind of let you go here, I have to ask you, what pizzeria, what pizza are you recommending right now? Like, where am I going for dinner tonight?
That's like asking who your favorite kid is, kind of.
Oh, it kind of is, but you know, I gotta ask.
It's tough, you know. Maybe I'll just I'll give you a couple, like one up north and one down south, and so people can go check them out. So right now, I love Napoli's Pizza in Hoboken, downtown Hoboken.
Okay.
Phil is the pizziola there, great guy. Actually entered me into a pizza eating contest at the Ferrara Foods Festival. I will never do that again, ever. Not my style.
Sounds like agita.
Yeah. But Phil up in Hoboken. Now, down here, one of the reasons why I did Johnny C is my wife invented me, because I constantly was recommending people where to go eat. And she goes, make a page, call yourself Johnny C the Pizza Guy, and have fun. And I did. I got a YouTube, I got an Instagram, my kids got me on TikTok. But there's places down here that are excellent and special. And there's a place I recently did a beautiful review on, south of Toms River, south of the Mason-Dixon line, in the Pine Barrens, is a place called Shady Rest. And it's a 1930s recipe from Trenton, tomato pie style.
Tomato pie.
Meaning upside down. They put the cheese down in the dough, and they put the sauce on top. The Rose Garden is a 40-year-old Rose Garden. Bob Popovich is just an amazing man. 1966, Shady Rest. Again, a hidden gem.
I love that.
I mean, and it's amazing because you really, from the website and just you talking, you can tell your love of spreading the word and just being like, you got to check this out, because you're not getting any sort of incentive. This is just fun for you, right?
It is. And, I love taking people. Like, I have a very, very dear friend, right? Born and raised in Brooklyn, Bensonhurst, right? Great pizza. My family's from Brooklyn. So I take him to a place in Columbus Flea Market in Columbus, New Jersey. I mean, you're talking out west, right?
Yeah.
The center of our state. And he had it. And he says, Johnny, the best yet. And this is Kate and Al's in Columbus Market. I mean, it comes out like a cake. It's so beautiful. Kate and Al's in Columbus Market, in the flea market. They line up.
That's amazing. Where can people find out more information about you, your recommendations, and Jersey Roots?
Thank you, Kristina. So my Facebook is probably the most active. Johnny C, the Pizza Guy, on Facebook. On Instagram, I keep that active. Jersey Roots is a page, right? If you just go on Facebook, search Jersey Roots, become a member by participating. And we're gonna keep growing that page, and we love it. Again, New Jersey's a special place. We got it all, right? We got great pizza. I'm part of Jersey Pizza Joints, another great page. The founder, Guy Madsen, says pizza is the Napa Valley of New Jersey, right? So, I mean, something like that. But I mean, I'm on. Like I said to my kids, they got me on TikTok. They said, "Daddy, go on TikTok." I do the TikTok thing,
That's great. We're going to check it out. Johnny C, the Pizza Guy. We love you. Thank you so much for coming on. And we're going to have some pizza next time.
Have a wonderful day. Let's have pizza together.
Yes. Next time, for sure.
All right.
Good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks again, John. Oh, man, now I'm hungry.
Me too. I was just like the upside down pizza.
Really?
I'm like, I could see it.
Yeah. Sorry, we're just having a little moment here. Let me just roll my tongue back into my mouth. Something else that's cool to do in Jersey, and I'm excited to try this.
Yes.
The world's largest indoor go-kart course will be opening this December as part of Supercharged Entertainment's new complex in Edison.
I mean, just look at this picture. The track surface has already been completed. It's 26 feet wide. We'll have 13 left turns and 12 right turns. And in addition to the track, the facility will also feature other attractions like a restaurant, 2 bars, arcade games, and axe throwing lanes.
The complex is set to open on Route 1 next to the Edison Top Golf.
This is so cool.
I love stuff. I really enjoy go-karting. I think it's a lot of fun. We used to do it as little kids down
I think
the
I went
shore.
once. Yeah.
This just sounds like a blast.
It looks huge and amazing, and no doubt it's going to have a long line.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of apple picking, I know Mike mentioned before this weekend, Jersey Farm is among the top 10 apple orchards in the nation.
We just keep getting all the accolades. Johnson's Corner Farm in Medford came in 8th on USA Today's national rankings, which were published last week. Visitors there can take a hayride out to the orchards where they can choose from up to 10 different types of apple varieties.
Love it. They were also praised for having live music, a corn maze, and a festival food tent. I really feel like, you go anywhere in New Jersey on a farm, you really cannot go wrong during the fall season.
I don't know that I've been to a different one almost every year, and I don't know that I've ever been disappointed. I mean, it is the Garden State for a reason. We do this exceptionally well.
Yes, and then you end up with 4 million apples like I have, and I still have bags.
Bring
and
them
bushels
to me. I'll make them.
I definitely
need them.
Too many.
Yes.
Well, for years, boat owners have been abandoning their boats on Cape May Harbor, but city officials are looking to change that.
Yeah, so the city is now considering an ordinance that would require owners to register any boats that have been moored on waterways for more than 30 days.
Now, if this is passed, it would be intended to keep tabs on which boats have been abandoned, helping local officials get a better handle on the issue.
We like to keep it clean.
Keep your boats where they belong.
And yes, guys, listen, a Mega Millions ticket worth $1 million was sold at a Quick Check in Union. The winner hit the first 5 numbers in Tuesday's drawing, but did not get the 6th Mega Ball number.
Yes, a third prize ticket worth $10,000 was also sold at a Wawa in Stafford. No one won Tuesday's jackpot, so tonight's jackpot has increased to an estimated $410 million.
And the last time someone won the jackpot was back on July 29th. I think it's time to go buy a ticket.
I know. It's like when you see the numbers start creeping up, you're like, all right, I guess I got to go.
Yeah,
stop.
like what's the threshold for you? You feel like, where are you at? Like,
I mean,
it's worth my time.
I sometimes just go when I'm food shopping. I'll just do it in the store, stop and shop.
Like
to the point where now my kids are like, are you stopping by to get lotto tickets? And I'm like, do I really buy them that much? Do I have like an issue? No. I'm just like, no, not today. But now when you see it in the hundreds
of millions.
Yeah,
I'm like,
hundreds of millions. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like.
What about you?
Same thing. I think by the time when it hits the headlines, that's where I'm like,
maybe.
Maybe I'll throw my hat in the ring.
Yeah, exactly.
See what happens. Can't hurt, right?
Exactly. In it to win it.
Yeah, that's it. Hey, guys, listen, thank you so much for being in it with us today, joining us on the morning show. We hope you have a fantastic weekend.
We'll see you back here live next Thursday at 9 a.m. Have a good weekend.